Hey guys, it's Cody with Mainstream Corporation. I am doing a little test on a CA200 series with the CPS anemometer and a hot wire anemometer from Fieldpiece. Hot wire anemometers, any good measurement, requires 1 foot of straight pipe to get a nice even flow. And the hot wire there is right in the middle. You can't see it as good, but the eye should be right as close to the middle. So we're in the bullseye, maybe not dead on, but we're pretty close. So what we're trying to do is generate some readings and get a baseline. Let's get a light on there so we can see it a little better. The hot wire is very accurate. It's almost reading 20 CFM at 15% fan speed, and our little CPS isn't doing anything. These are factory defaults, and I've boosted the boost to 100%. So let's see if that triggers the CPS. Looks like it's moving, and we're really just looking for some correlation to know that two measurements, maybe static-ish, right? Related. So I wouldn't say we're, completely close, but, our high I've seen is 65, and this is the highest I've seen is at 71. It's definitely 70 degrees in here. So that's the hot wire against the CPS. Let's go ahead and boost it up a little. In fact, this is the next setting is boost. Boom! This thing is rated at 150 CFM evidently. And as a passive house designer and advisor and not a certified consultant, but certainly a consultant, been in the business for 12 years, built some of the tightest buildings in the United States, and some of the first commercial passive inspired library maintenance building, 44 unit. And then I've been in ventilation strictly for at least a good 8 years. So what we're trying to do again is we're trying to just decide how much CFM is coming out of this CA200 out of the box, and then my next video will probably be to connect some flex duct here and just see what some pressure does. Because if you connect one side to the other, this is flying out. So I'm actually measuring one side and the other. And let's just turn on the light there, that way we can see it a little easier. So this is out of the box. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and connect some flex duct to it and see what that does to our measurements. Okay guys, it's Cody. I'm back here in Pearl, of course. We're taking another test. That's right. So right now we've just added a little bit of a slinky on there, and this is on the depressurization side because that's the occurrence we're dealing with, and obviously this is the worst case scenario, which is weird to think about because it's not really that far along. But the problem with flex duct and any duct is see how the ribbing just sends the frequency, and you can hear it too once we get to high speed, and this thing will shrivel up, which is what it's doing in an occurrence we have. Let's go ahead and turn it up to a little higher speed here. Oop, that was my controller. So what's happening, let's just take a look. On our supply side, let's say right over here, that CPS, which is stood up by toothpicks because that's how we get when we're in the lab. And on the exhaust side, which is coming from the bathroom, let's say, it's hitting the filters, right? And then this side would be going to the bedroom. We're not measuring that because this is the flow that crosses the core, recovers 90% of the energy in a good scenario with just like, 20 watts or something. That's what we're really looking for in a performance world. So we're not hitting that right now. So let's just hit it up and see what happens on the boost. And that way we got it on video. Because that was low speed, right? So we had 60 on the out. That's okay. We love 60. It's just great. So these are kind of normalizing again. You hear what's going on that side? You probably don't know because stereo, I don't have two microphones. And those CFMs are sort of normalizing in a way, but right over here. So let's go ahead and take another sample here in just a moment, where we'll extend that flex duct out a little bit and we'll get some gain, because once that flex duct is stretched out, it acts a little different. But you want to use it in micro doses, just like spray foam. So yeah, that CPS it's not dropping at all. We're at like 10 CFM on the right, and oh, there we go. The CPS is there. Okay, so they're sort of balanced. This is interesting, right? At low speeds, duct pressure losses are less noticeable. What that CPS just kicked out, because like a lot of devices, it's just not sensitive to keep that accuracy, which is why I like testos, and if you can, a hot wire anemometer. Okay, next test coming up. Hey guys, here I am again, and we've done a little duct work here. We're still actually reading very similar to what we were when we left you earlier. Pitot tube still looking good. Gotta love to say that word. And we've got a little ductography here. We've got a little stretches, a couple of 90s, and a wrap around down there tied to the bathroom, right? That's where it's gonna come from. The smells, the humidity, everything. Nice flex duct. This is, I mean, it's probably like 12 foot, 15 foot, let's call it, flex duct. I've stretched it out, so it's not perfect, okay? It's definitely not perfect. It's not taut. And if I had 3 grades, I would grade this like, if 3 was the highest, this would be a 2, okay? So maybe a little exaggerated loss, but let's just say you have like 5 foot of flex duct, running, and you have to account for that. Then you might have like 5 foot of flex duct somewhere else running, to the, where the end diffuser is going to go, which is adjustable. That's our valve, right? Okay, it's not our valve. Is it our valve? No, it's not. She's saying yes, it is our valve. It's down there. Okay, just kidding. That's a bad joke. We should edit that out. Anyway, back to the CFM. We've got 22 there, and we've got a lot of ductography. Let's kick it up a notch, get the CPS reading, and carry on. There's our code mode, right? 35%. And the CPS looks like it's reading. There's Pearl looking, she's wondering what the heck we're doing over here. And yeah, the CPS is reading, but I don't think it's quite as accurate as we'd want it to be. The CPS, of course, is on this side. Gosh, I've had that thing in a box for years and years. I am just thankful I had it to just cross-reference this hot wire anemometer. I used to use this a lot in the field. Very accurate, but I never found instances where you had this nice even flow to take a test reading from. And it's so important. Oh, I hope we didn't lose it. Yeah, that thing did stop. Let's just kick it up. Let's just kick it up. Low speed. Oh, somehow it went to... Pearl, did you sniff this? I think Pearl sniffed it. There we go. Let's try again. Oh, it must be me when I drop it. Gosh, sorry for the long video. Let's set it right up top. Yep, she's going now. I mean, excuse me, the fan is... Measurements happening, ladies and gentlemen. 44 CFM. Ooh, 44, you stopped for a minute there. 48, 50, 60. It's weird, the nanometer is like instantaneous. Barometers kind of standardize their measurements with calculations behind the scene. Pretty darn close, both of them. So again, that's at low speed, and we're doing good there. So we got a weigh mode, which is easy. It should be just right on. Then we got low speed, and it's reading great at 35%. This is almost what we're getting in the field too. And I think we're more often like in the 55s to 60 in the field with these little CA200s, and then we go to boost. Now, if I was in a bathroom and I heard that, I would think good things are happening. And this is interesting. My goodness. Now, what you're witnessing is cavitation. And cavitation is when one fan can continue the velocity or the frequency without the volume, basically, and the other side is just dealt with the volume. So this guy over here on the right, I'll tell you that supply is right at 200 though. And when flex duct collapses, it kind of does weird things. Let's take a look at it on the supply side. Okay, we're back again now. We've swapped sides. So this is actually the supply side we're measuring now on the right. So that's what we would be wanting the people in the office to have so they can have smart work. Lots of oxygen from outside the true Rocky Mountain High. Purified air, filtered, super quiet. In fact, you can hear the dog licking the Arapahoe core. You're a beautiful pearl. You're a good girl. All right, so we've got a little bit of duct loss built into this one. We've got, what, one sweeping 90, another sweeping 90, and another sweeping 90. Maybe those are a little exaggerated 90s. This one's not totally exaggerated. But if you have a lot of flex duct connections, you know, maybe more than two, you might consider that you might want a larger system to push that air. So, are we agreeing? We've got 86 coming out to the bedrooms, let's say, in the office, and we've got 50 coming to the office, maybe 43, 42, 49. Again, that anemometer, and we're at a steady 85. So, again, that measurement system. Let's go ahead and go to boost. Now we're pressurizing that flex duct now. So it'll be interesting to see what type of loss associated, for better or worse, and who knows. I said worse or not worse. I don't know if we can even see in there. It actually looks really good. Okay. You know, I would hate to be unfair. So it's similar results, and the results are ECM motors. You know, this is a different squirrel cage kind of design. It's more like a jet engine, but it's less. I don't know how to say. It's not trying to force itself through duct like a forced air furnace would, where you actually want this thing to pressurize. You know, in a furnace, you're looking for as much CFM as possible. And again, with breathing air, because energy loss, you know, 40% of building energy loss is through ventilation, which is tied to your air leaking through the building. So if you have bathroom fans and you don't have a hole in the wall somewhere with a filter letting that air in, then you're relying on negative pressure. And that's a problem because you're unbalanced. So your CFM rates are all out of whack, and when your furnace turns on and it's cooking that air in a depressurized situation, it increases the energy loss, because as that air heats up, it falls through that attic and towards the bottom of a building. If it wasn't airtight like our buildings are, you can see that good connection there, you lose a lot of energy there. So we don't have any energy loss up at the top, and we don't have any energy loss at the bottom, because our buildings are very airtight, and I'm sure that's the objective of most of our clients, which is why they pick Zehnder. So to conclude, it looks like flex duct is quite a contributor to energy loss. Maybe definite duct loss calculations just to make sure that your instrument, with its water column discount, delivers what your design intent becomes.